a game that's being revisited. 7 Days to Die, console version. So there's been a recent influx of gamers to the PS4 version, at least. It's on sale at the store for, I think I heard, $5. Bunch of new people joining up. So I've passed out making tools last night, looks like. So yeah, I'm gonna stream my seed known as shagyseven. I needed to make some tools because I was low on high-end tools. Looks like I still need to make some tools. Sipping on my gourmet coffee. Gonna stream a little bit here. Trying to throw some tips out to the new players. Then I'm gonna tear my AC out the window and take it apart and clean it, and hopefully don't have to spend $200 on another one. Cause I got bills to pay. That's some gourmet shit right there. Don't even know why I still got that. Might as well scrap that. What else can I scrap? I thought I had another workbench. I was just talking about last night that I needed another workbench. Can't believe I've got no cobblestone. different kinds of dirt. So once you get oil shale, which can only be found in the desert, you can make asphalt. You gotta have a cement mixer. I think it uses stone, oil shale. I think that's about it. Always check the cement mixer to see. Then you got burnt forest ground. Then you got destroyed stone, forest ground, grassy, gravel, plains, sand, sod, and stone. And someone actually, that's fertilizer, by the way. Someone recently brought to my attention, what is the difference between sod and regular ground? So if you look, if you press triangle, asphalt has a hardness of 1. Matter of fact, I think all grassy ground has a hardness of 1. But then it has something called the max load. And I believe the max load, all the mass looks like it's 10. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So asphalt has a max load of 120. So I'm assuming max load is how much weight it can actually handle. Forged material, forged weight. I'm not quite sure what all that is. So we have grassy ground. Hardness of 1, max load is 20, and the mass is 10. So max load, I'm pretty sure, is the weight factor. Sod is a little bit stronger for holding itself together. Or maybe max load is heavy. Maybe it's heavier. But the thing with grassy ground is you could throw it down on the ground and then hoe it. With sod, if you throw it on the ground, you have to wait for it like cement to dry. You can pick it up with triangle. You just throw it down, be like, oh, I didn't mean to punt it there. Just pick it up and then replant it. As for any benefits between, if you get better crop, I'm unsure of. Really can't say for sure if sod gives you more crop, like gardening. I'd like to test it, but I'm kind of doing other projects right now. But if you want to test it for yourself, try it out. Throw a piece of a 4-block radius of grassy ground, hoe it, and then do another sod 4-piece grassy ground, wait for it to dry, and then hoe it. Maybe throw a few more pieces of sod down and don't hoe it, because I know with gardening, if you just plant a corn seed or any seed on unhoed ground, you're only going to get one back. There's absolutely no profit for all the new people. Gardening is a lifesaver for food. I always recommend, if you see a cave, look around, be careful of bears, but look around and grab a few mushrooms. You don't need many to get a garden started. So with gardening, just find mushrooms, find potatoes, which may be difficult. Often I end up buying them at the trader. I get like a few potatoes from the trader, and then corn, which can be found in let's see, I'm in desert and grassland. Where's the prairies? This color right here, that's where you find corn everywhere. So to get a good garden going that you won't worry about starving, corn, potatoes, and mushrooms. And then you can make an everlasting water source or live by a river or water source. Always make an everlasting water source anyway. It's easy to work. Just make a 4-block radius at least. You can go bigger, but always go with the 4-block radius. And then you You do the 4-block radius, make a bucket out of forged steel. Throw water in, maybe two times, maybe 3. And then you take your glasses. You can have 500 glasses and just scoop up the water, and there'll be one puddle of water left. So then what you do is you take your bucket, you pick up that puddle of water, and then splash it back in, and it should fill up the 4-block radius again. So if you have corn, mushrooms, potatoes, and water, you can make vegetable stew or vegetable soup. Let's see. This is how big my garden is. I got plenty of corn. I have so much corn, I haven't even checked on my garden in like probably a month and a half, 2 months. I got plenty of potatoes, plenty of mushrooms. I don't really use a lot of meat. I conserve my meat. I'm not a big hunter. I only hunt at certain times. But I feel hunting is a slow process compared to a garden. So yeah, if you don't hoe the ground, you're not going to get no profit in return. If you hoe the ground, then you're going to get at least double. If you fertilize it, and there's like 3 stages of fertilize, you could just add 1 fertilizer, or you could keep hoeing it and it'll use like 3 to 4 fertilizer in one spot. Now I don't think that really gives you a difference, but I do notice sometimes when I pick my corn, I get up to 4 pieces of corn on fertilized dirt. But you basically get 1 profit if you just hoe it. If you fertilize it, you get 2 to 4 extra pieces of crop. Alright, what is that looking for? So gardening really is a lifesaver. You don't have to have a huge garden. You really don't. Especially if you have fertilizer. I find a lot of my fertilizer and working stiffs. Sometimes I find them in the Shamway, but the majority of my fertilizer, every time I see fertilizer at the trader, that's my #1 buy. That's what I'm buying. Another tip for newcomers, traders can be epic lifesavers, just epic. They're very handy. Some people don't use the traders. I strongly urge you to learn your traders. There's a few tricks with the traders. They refresh. Normally between each horde. Wet cement. If you got the concrete to spare and you punt a concrete block, this is how the cement looks when you punt it. And then you got to upgrade it to get this, and it'll be wet and it'll break a lot easier. See, I broke that in 5 swings. This, it would probably take me like 6 to 7, but I'm not really trying to break it. There we go. I got my cobblestone. I'm adding concrete around this for extra security. I am in an open world to the public. Another trick, let's say you want to open world, but one day you're just like, man, I just don't want to have to deal with people joining my map and me. See, that dried. That's dry concrete. Like, I don't want to deal with, you know, people joining my map tonight. What you can do is, if you're on communities, be careful, man. There's a lot of trolls and grievers on communities. It can be pretty bad. But it can also be worth it to meet some really cool people on the communities. But a little trick, let's say you don't want to deal with nobody that day. Just go to your PlayStation profile and set yourself to offline, and it will give you about 2 to 3 hours where no one will see your game in the community. Now, let's say someone goes to the menu in 7 Days to Die and they're like, oh, I want to play nightmare mode, and they search for a game. There is a chance that even though you're offline the 7 Days to Die menu, they will be able to join your game through that menu, but they got to really pick the setting that you had picked for your map. It'll randomly throw them in a game and it could be yours. But overall, when I play offline, I don't get many people on my map. It's a nice way to play your offline map for a solo mission without being disturbed too much. Now, after about 2 or 3 hours though, the community will register your map and then it'll be public for anyone to see. So if you're in a community, be aware that if you're in a community and you start playing 7 Days to Die, regardless if you post your map on there or not, people are going to be able to see that you're playing 7 Days to Die and join you from there. If you're offline, people can't join your game. If you ever notice, if you're online, people just can't join you from the PlayStation menu, the PSN menu. It's because you're offline. And the same principle applies to 7 Days to Die. But eventually the community will register you after a few hours. Even though you're still offline, and for some reason picks up your game, and then people are free for all to join you. But all you have to do is close the game down and then restart it back up, and voila, you'll be offline all over again. Alright, so workbenches. I was reading on one of the communities, a guy was, you know, he had a lot of nice tips, but there's one tip that I don't agree with. This chem station and this workbench, don't waste your points. If you have a friend that don't play your map as much as you do, get them to learn the skill for workbench and help them farm the items that you need to make a workbench and a chem station, and have them just make you a few of them. But don't waste your skill. I mean, look at my levels. Let me show you this. I'm level 175. Okay, level 175 on day 447, and I have yet to learn these 30 points of wasted skill points. That there's no need to waste your skill points unless someone raids you and destroys your bench and then you can't find another one. All you need is a wrench and locations. They're not hard to find. There's 2 or 3 different types of gas station. There's actually a few of every type of POI, points of interest. Like, there's 2 different Shamways. You got a little Shamway, and then you got a super Shamway that has iron bars on the window. Same thing for the Shotgun Messiah. What's the other one? The Crack-a-Book. There's a super Crack-a-Book. I haven't played Naz game in a while, but I'm pretty sure that the small ones are in the northwest, and the bigger ones are in Dyerville, or however you say it, and the east town. I think those are the superstores. On Random Gen, you got stores like that everywhere. So anyway, you get workbenches from that one type of gas station. It's often the one where the garage is connected to the building, not the one where it's separated. You just bust in, use the wrench on it, and it'll go straight into your inventory. Now the chem station, those are in pop-up pills. I don't think I've seen a pop-up pill yet that don't have a chem station. So a little tip, if you can afford it, don't even waste your skill points in the beginning on it. Just find you a wrench. Wrenches can be found often in the car lots or hotel rooms. Get pretty lucky with looking under sinks. You can easily find a wrench, and it's kind of ironic. I'm pretty sure it's still the same, but let's see. Check this out. Wait, no. See, it used to be. I think it still is, because you need a wrench to technically get mechanical parts. Majority anyway. It used to be you needed a wrench to make a wrench, but I think one of the later patches they gave us adjusted that. Let me see. It still might be true. I think it is still true though, that you need a wrench to get a wrench. Yeah, right there. You need a wrench to make the workbench, and you need the workbench to make a wrench. So it's kind of like, really? But the good thing is you don't need a schematic for the wrench anymore. You used to need a schematic for the wrench and the claw hammer and a few other things. But that's no longer an issue. At least the claw hammer, you used to need a schematic. Now you do not. But I don't want to get confused with the past compared to the future, or you know, where we're at on this game now. So yeah, you need a wrench to make a wrench, basically, because you need a wrench to make that. But wrenches can be found easy. I normally find a few in a hotel. Not the little one, the 2-story one. I normally like the 5 or 6-story ones. There's 3 different hotels too. There's one thing I'd like to clarify to anyone that's new and watching this. A lot of old heads, old gamers for this, still do this. I do not agree. Some people call army bases the wrong thing. So you have an army, you have campsites, which often always have zombies, and ain't nothing there but a cloth tent, campfire, maybe another tent, maybe a car. You can't miss a campsite. They're little bitty POIs, and most of the time they're just out in the wilderness. Then you have the army camp, which has sandbags around it, and it's got landmines everywhere. I would not approach an army camp unless you have quite a few beds on you. You see, so many people have like almost had strokes for riding a mini bike, and then all of a sudden an army camp loads and they're surrounded by landmines. So you got that. Then you have an army base. An army base has 3 buildings. I think it's 3. Might be 2. Yeah, I think it's 2. The crew, the the quarters with beds and some clothes and shit inside the boxes. And then you got another one that has like a rec room where troops would eat. And yeah, it does have 3 structures. Then it has like a command center, like made out of cloth tent or whatever. Another little tent. Anyway, the army base has walls, concrete walls. They're a good place to live to start off on, but zombies do spawn in them until you dig up the ground and replace it. If you dig up the ground and throw wood frames or whatever, all over where you dug up, zombies will no longer spawn in there. Normally it's like 3 to 4 zombies spawn in there. So you got campsites, army camps with landmines, and then army bases actually have concrete walls. Then you have the actual prison. Now, it's fun to rebuild POIs, but here's another tip that I've discovered. Alright, let's say I go loot a crack a book and I get a bunch of paper. I don't want the paper. People used to say, I don't know how bad it is anymore, but they used to say, look, throw that paper on the ground or put it in a chest because it'll affect, quote unquote, the next spawn. For when stuff respawns, it won't spawn. That's not true. That is absolutely not true. You can leave the paper or whatever it is you don't want and go back about your business. And depends on what game mode you're playing. I think the mode I'm on, it takes 30 days for loot to respawn. So when I go back after 30 days, that paper is still going to be in that chest. So what I do is I remove the paper and then I, back out of the chest. And then when I give it like a half a second, and then it'll say untouched all over again. And then I look in and I get the new item. So leaving items in a chest that you're in a loot crate that you find does not affect the spawn. It'll hold it up, but the timer still goes as long as no one looks in it. If I look in it every 10 days, then it's not going to respawn anything. You have to leave it alone for like 30 days for my game mode, which is the default. So then, let's see, I was going to say something else about the loot crates. Oh yeah. Alright, this is something I figured out. Alright, look, I look at my map. I'm zoomed all the way out. Look, I zoom all the way in. Where I'm living, this whole area is going to be affected for loot crates respawning the item. You zoom all the way into the map, and this area, this whole radius, zoomed all the way in, means that it's unlikely anything is going to spawn in the area. So living and rebuilding in prefads, which is buildings already made, can be fun, but you got to take into consideration. Let's say I was living, where's the shops? These are my shops. Let's say I was living right here. That means that all this area, they're not going to spawn until I leave the area. I hope I'm explaining that clear. So basically, if I lived right here, none of this stuff would re-loot. The loot boxes would not replenish until I leave the area for a few days after the initial 30-day loading. So I normally have a few bases. That way I spend like a few hordes at one base, and then I go to another base, spend a few hordes there, and then by the time I come back, all the stuff will respawn for you. But basically, if you zoom in and I want to live here, that means all of these houses are not gonna respawn the loot. If you zoom in, this is the radius that is affected by you living there, and the loot boxes will not respawn until you leave the area. A few in-game days, that is, plus the initial respawn time. If you're playing an invite only, you could lower that down to 5 days for the loot to respawn. I believe it's 5. And just leave for a few days before the 5 days is up, or right after it's over. Come back and everything in your living area will be respawned. I found this out for living in bunkers. Living in bunkers, very good POIs to hide from the horde on horde nights. And then, yeah. So it's real important to me, I don't live in prefads. Prefads are valuable loot resources. I like to build from the ground up. My base has major decay. This is major decay here. This one's not as bad as the other one was. Another thing that I've learned, let's say you play on my map and then you disappear from 7 days to die, or at least don't play on my map for, I think it's around 300 days. Your base will be so badly decayed from auto decay that it's a big chance your base will just be gone. I used to have a day 600 and something map, and there was one guy that we discovered this on. He finally came on to play again, and his base was completely gone because he was gone for a good 400 days or whatever, and his base was completely gone. So you need to really pay attention to the upkeep, especially when you start getting a few hundred days on your map. Like, I can only imagine what them walls look like. See, that's beat up. That's probably from a zombie though. That block right there with the A in the middle. Alright, trees. Trees are dangerous lag. Just got that many planted. See, all that needed upkeep. Only reason I got that planted so many is because I needed wood. I'm going to chop down all these trees and then go back to my normal tree farm, which is within my base right here. But if you look, let's see, is this as high as I can go? No, that is. I guess I'll make a break for it. Don't break a leg. These flat bases, these are my cheesy horde bases. I can't take credit for this build. I've seen many other people do it before. Before I even realized how useful they were, I've done stuff like this with the poles. But these plates, you can have a cobblestone frame, not even upgraded, and deal with a few of the minor hordes. For some reason, these things do not get attacked by zombies. The only reason I have to upgrade them right now is because of the decay. This has nothing to do with zombies. The only thing that can hurt this base are police, the cops. They can spit at you and that hits these frames, and when they explode they do damage to the frames. Ferals, dogs, regular zombies, they don't do shit to these frames. See, upkeep, upkeep, upkeep. That actually might be from a cop spitting there. Alright, let's say to the top of the tower so I can show you. But yeah, if you build that with the corners how you saw, then ain't no zombie gonna be able to fucking beat you on Horde Night. It's gonna be like free loot for you. You can punch them. Just don't get too close to the walls, because they can attack you through the wall. Like if you're close enough, they can make contact. But overall, that's like the base. Alright, so if you look around, there is absolutely not a single tree out there, unless I planted it. Me and everyone who I've gotten to join my map, we chop down every single tree in the area. It helped reduce lag. Of course, I planted probably more trees, well, not more trees than what was in the area, but I did plant a large abundance. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Oh, found something that needed support. That hurt. Broke my leg. Yeah, one thing I like about 7 days but hate also is this game ain't like Minecraft. It's like Minecraft for adults, but there is a weight factor. For some reason this hotel is mega laggy. It's been laggy. At some point, I've built bigger towers than this that didn't lag this bad. I don't know why this one particular tower lags. I swear I've built bigger towers that use way more frames. But for some reason, no matter who's over here, when we upgrade it, it does that little lag pause on us. So it's taking a second for that to even upgrade. There it goes. I don't know, I had some issues underground with one of my clay pits that happened to be underneath here. I think that might have contributed to the lag. Like maybe something's going on down there. It really sucks too, you know, because I thought about tearing it down, but there's quite a few people living here now. I'm about to go investigate that collapse that I had. Pretty sure it has something to do with the frames not all being upgraded. Hay bales. They can break your fall from any distance. As long as you landing on them properly. Okay, I can't reach that. So you got to be really careful with these corners. Zombies can get in there and have a little bit more reach. I recommend being at least 1 block away. You can still manage to punch them or hit them with a knife. Do the in and out method. Use the hatches. Don't even go to steel. I think that dogs and zombies can actually hit the steel hatch. Go at least 3 high, because the zombies will start standing on top of each other. 3 high keeps them out. You can even do a ceiling up if you want. Of course, I would make sure the ceiling was on a 4th block. You got 1 floor, 2, 3, 4, 5th block. Alright, now let's see. Where was that collapse? It was way up there. I think it was at the very top. So why? Oh, that's not concrete. That's probably why. Look, I'll walk over here and I bet it stays. Well, it sounds like something fell. See, that's concrete. It's all about weight factor. All about the weight factor. Because that's iron, it don't hold as much as concrete does. That's concrete. And you know, wood is quick and easy to use, but it's a little bit more work, not much, and it's worth it more in the end. Let's say you are building a base from scratch, just use cobblestone. See how laggy that was? This tower is lag. Watch, when I go back over there, and all that'll go away. Matter of fact, earlier in the video, I was upgrading concrete over there, and it didn't do that to me. So yeah, I chopped down every tree in the area. You might be wondering, how the hell does that guy got so much cotton and med kits and aloe vera plants. Well, I have huge ass gardens, like magnificently sized gardens. I think I have I think it was 12 10 by 10s. I don't know if I can get in there. Quit my gun just in case. Yeah, fertilized dirt. I got these gardens, decorational gardens. Got a water moat that's been damaged, probably because of zombie. Got my woman. Got my Trojan horse. Got my pyramid. And I got another little garden here. Man, my base has been beat up. I ain't even noticed it. And then check this out. Where's the window? Then, alright, I got these gardens. This was my original main source. But then if you look over there, between the trees and them rocks, that is a huge garden for mass production. Took me quite a bit of time in there. It takes a whole in-game day to even be able to plant or farm, like pick it up, especially to plant. But I think it holds 1,800 seeds, over 1,000 seeds. So I normally, if I planted all cotton over there, I think I would end up with like almost 3,000 of the cotton seeds or cotton back, you know. Could plant mass corn there. That's my skull on the back side of it. Huh, that's weird. It's weird too. I don't remember that. Oh, really? Wet the concrete, break it easily. 1, 2, 3, 4 swings, cobblestone. So I got another one over there. Let's check out my pyramid. Torches are dangerous for lag too, and not sure how accurate it is. I'm gonna do like a drawbridge for the pyramids, but yeah, I'm not sure how accurate it is on this, but supposedly too many torches cause zombies. I mean, everything affects your heat map. You can't see your heat map, but if you Google 7 Days to Die heat map, there's a map example with an icon, a legend, whatever it's called, I believe it's a legend, that will explain how big the heat map is. But everything causes some form of heat, all the way from, oh, broken leg again. This was originally another horde chamber, but yeah, so anything you do kind of boosts up the heat map. Building, if you build in one spot too long, real fast, it'll raise your heat map where you'll start getting Roman hordes coming at you. try and slow you down from the building. Then you have weapons. Shooting weapons is not a good idea. It can cause your heat map to raise. And campfires. Campfires especially do it. Especially when you have too many of them. Forges naturally, and chem stations especially. Most of the time, every time I turn on a forge, I get a screamer. Screamer screams quite a bit, but the third time, if she's allowed to scream 3 times, she's gonna call like maybe ferals or cops. And unless you got explosive crossbow bolts or 2 AKs or 2 SMGs mowing them down, cops are extremely difficult to take out. Sometimes you might get lucky and get that one headshot, but cops is definitely a team effort for ease anyway. They don't always let you know they're about to blow up. So, I don't know, I guess I'm going to end this stream because I don't want it to get too long. My summer wear, my clothing. Matter of fact, I got some clothing to throw in here. I'm just collecting clothing until I get like, you know, 5 rows or at least multiple duplicates of types of stuff. Like, I'm going to take this to the trader and sell it. That's pretty much the only duplicates I have. Got a white hoodie and a green hoodie. Yeah, I'm a pack rat collector, so like these hats, I would sell the cheapest, the lowest quality one, I would sell it. I mean, you can combine them. I'm pretty sure you can combine this kind of stuff. But I like to make money from the trader, so I pretty much sell clothing as a good way to get your barter up quick. Don't think I could sell the ponchos. Got me some cowboy boots. Don't know what hazmat's in there. Accessories. I've been keeping my football helmets because they you need that, duct tape, and a flashlight to make miner helmets. So I haven't really been selling those. Can't sell these, I don't think. Maybe these. And I got my good shit. Hazmat. Leather. A lot of couches in a hotel, they're gone because of this. So I hope that I didn't start talking about something and then got distracted and never finished. If you would like to add someone that don't mind helping you learn the game, you can add me. My name is shagyseven with underscores in between. That's it right there. That is my PSN tag. Don't end up being one of these people. The player kills is 16. I try not to kill people. I've already got my trophy from the Jazz seed. It has a cave. It's my favorite seed. Everyone says they got the best seed, but I'm telling you, Jazz is the best seed. I like Crackpot as a player, but most of the maps that I've seen him stream, I don't like. I'm sad to say most of the maps that I played with Crackpot in the title, I always end up in a destroyed or burned biome with dogs chasing me. Like right off the bat. Lots of burn biomes and such on the Crackpot seeds that I found. Of course, I ain't played every single one of them, but I've played quite a few of his recommended seeds. Jazz, all lowercase, Jazz. It has 2
full-blown cities. Matter of fact, if you Google Jazz and my name, you will, I have streamed the shit out of that video quite a few times. I've showed off the towns, some of the traders I found. It has 2 full-blown HUD cities, and I'm not talking about, some people say, oh yeah, you know, I got 2 HUD cities on my map, and then you go look and they actually have a mini HUD, which isn't a full HUD city. It's just slightly bigger than a town. But on Jazz, it has 2 of these. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like a, I don't know, a 8x8. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, a 6x6 is a HUD city. This is a regular town, little town. Then you got crossroads. These are crossroads right there. And you got these little towns. You got all kinds of different types of towns on Random Gen. Mini HUD is kind of built like that, but a lot more busy. I'll probably still have towns on here that I ain't found. Another crossroads. Looks like someone was over there. I haven't even really explored this biome. I hate these biomes. Very dangerous. But no, Jazz has 2 full-blown HUD cities. Random Gen always has HUD city around 0, in the middle of the map. You can't miss it. Jazz has 0, and it has another city in the north and the southwest. A full-blown HUD city, and that HUD city has 2 traders within 0.2 kilometers of each other, right across the street. It's got a huge snow biome with plenty of tree trunks. It's got like 4 big deserts, so finding a desert isn't hard. Desert is the only place you can get gold, diamonds, silver, and oil shell. And if you're just starting out mining sand, you get, once you got a good shovel, you get sand and rock. So it's often very cost efficient to mine in the sand rather than mining down in the rocks. I mean, once you get up there though, and you got a good pickaxe and good miner 69er, mining the rocks does pay better than the sand. But in the beginning, it's really easy to get a whole bunch of rocks real quick. So, let's see, I don't know how long this video's been going. Still says live. So I think I'm gonna end this video. And I will be streaming again later after I tear my AC apart and clean it, and hopefully don't have to go buy another one, because it's going to be a bitch. My AC window unit, I have custom cut a piece of tempered plywood, waterproof plywood. I've cut it out specifically for this air conditioner. And if I cannot buy one of the right size, I'm gonna have to either take that plywood out, which isn't gonna be easy because it is super sealed in. Means I'm gonna have to get some more caulk. I'm using a sawzall on that would not be good. I have to get my buzz saw, or I might even have to replace the whole piece of plywood. So it's gonna be a bitch. And my arm just came out of socket a few months ago, so that don't make things any easier. But I hope that this video helped with some tips that not a lot of people discuss. I hope it was a good learning curve for you for 7 days, and enjoy, man, enjoy. Just don't think day one you need to go fist fight a zombie. It often don't work out. My game modes are pretty much nightmare now. It says it's insane, but that's actually nightmare. This is an invite only, and this is Jazz. Matter of fact, it's on nightmare too. I wonder if I've done anything with Jazz. I haven't checked this in a long time. I started to seed shagyseven at the beginning of the year of 2020, and I've made it my New Year's resolution, I guess, to only play that map for the whole year, because I'm trying to get higher than the last time. I think I was at like day 662, and the traders came out and basically rendered the map pointless to play on. And ever since then, I haven't been able to get past like day 400 and something. Haven't ever gotten another 500 map day on my own, because I keep trying to meet people and play on their map. They'll play for a night, or they'll play for a few weeks, and then they won't play anymore. And I hate wasting my time. I hate having to start over. The thing, if you join my map, don't be afraid of the high days, because a lot of people don't realize, they don't read all the patch notes when they come out. But when they changed the way hordes worked on this console version to prevent the lag and the blue screens, they changed a few other things. Like a horde is on a cycle. Okay, I'm in a cave and it's day 1, so there's nothing on this map. But yeah, the horde works on a cycle. I can't remember exactly which day it resets, but we'll just say day 70. The day 70 horde is going to restart, and it's going to be just like day 7 horde again. It's not going to be as difficult. And it just, after so many hordes, it just recycles over and over. Back to 7, back to 14, back to 21. But there is a contributing factor which increases the difficulty of your horde on the cycle. If you build out of wood, your horde night, you're probably not going to see too many cops, and you're not going to see too many ferals. A friend of mine tested this by building his base out of wood on top of a treetop. He only used 1 iron block to support it. He has not laid any cement, and the only time he ever sees a cop is if a screamer sees him because of his forge. But he's high enough up that most of the time screamers don't see him. But horde night, his horde nights aren't hard because his base is made out of wood. So if you have a bunch of cement everywhere, then you're gonna start seeing like more cops, more ferals. I had one base that was my day 600 and something. It was so much concrete, we were seeing 8 cops on horde night. Like at least 8 cops, like 5 ferals for the common. But if I would have just built my base out of wood, that wouldn't happen. No matter what day that person's on, the horde restarts. People do not realize this. I guess they don't read every single patch note like I did. But you know, I'm just saying, don't be afraid of someone who's on day 200. The only difference is they're gonna have better shit, and more than likely they're gonna hook you up with tools, so you'll have better shit. You know, starting over on a day 300 really ain't nothing, as long as the host and the people you're playing with are like, hey, you're new, here you go, here's a pickaxe to help you farm rock quick, here's you a shovel, yeah, I'll repair that. You know, like, it's nothing to it, man. If you play on Insane, that's the hardest game mode. Nightmare is technically the hardest, but reality, Insane is the hardest. The zombies do not go down. Like, they are hard to kill. Nightmare, the zombies are fairly easy to kill, but they always run. They run all the time. Daylight, night, they're always running. So that's the only difficulty change. As in, alright, this zombie on Nightmare only took fucking 5 arrows to the head and he's dead. Sweet. On Insane mode, zombies gonna take way more arrows than 5 lucky headshots, you know. Just a heads up, Insane is the harder difficulty for fighting. Nightmare is the harder difficulty for wits. On Nightmare, first thing I do when I spawn, oh, there's one more thing I want to show. On Nightmare, I pretty much stay where I spawn, punch grass, make as many beds as I can tolerate, which is often 10 to 20, and I start farming wood as much as I can tolerate and then some. I make at least 50 wood frames for my journey, often more, and spikes, not the single cone spike, but the 3-point spike, the one that costs 100 wood to make. You need those for traveling on Nightmare. If you're running in the wilderness and you start getting chased, just make sure they're running in a straight line behind you and throw a spike down. Guide them into it. Some of the bigger zombies, like the Ralphie from The Simpsons, like I like to call him, he'll take like 2 or 3 spikes to go down and be crippled. But that's the best way to handle Nightmare. Beds, spikes, and wood frames. Even on day 400 with guns, I do not leave my base without those 3 items in my hotbar: beds, spikes, and wood frames. Wood frames help you get on top of rooftops and rocks. You can seal off the rock where they can't jump up there with you. Spikes cripple them to give you a little bit more time to just get away. And of course, beds for, let's say there's a dog or feral coming at you and you know you ain't gonna outrun it, throw a fucking bed down. So I hope this tutorial's been helpful. The last thing, people don't know this, even vets still may not know this, because like I said, people don't read all the patch notes. When you start a game, you're gonna see fog all around you. Your visual is gonna be limited. But guess what? They made a patch where you can go to options. You can't do this in game. You have to do this before you start the game. Go to video, go to display distant terrain and turn it on. That fog will disappear unless it's a foggy night because of weather. But overall, that fog will disappear and you will be able to see kilometers away. You can see where a road might lead. You can see the biomes. Like, that's how I find my deserts. You know, I'm not running around blindly in that fog. I turn on distant terrain and look off into the distance, follow roads, like, oh shit, there's a city, I'm running to it. But yeah, a video, display distant terrain, I would recommend to turn that on. It does increase lag slightly, but not real bad to where it's unplayable. And it will change the game for you. Like, it is a whole game changer. Another thing, for video, you got motion blur. I just leave that off. It basically adds like game effects. Like when you're running or you run out of stamina, your vision will get blurred. It's not, I don't like it. It's just another thing that causes lag, really. I think it was put in there to help decrease lag, but it's so annoying to be running and then your vision starts like getting pixelated. But anyway, I hope that's been helpful. Y'all have a good time playing a game I paid $30 for and still am getting my money's worth.